Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that defines the course of our lives more than anything else. It's not where we come from. It's not what we have. It's not even the challenges we face. It's our mindset. Because at the end of the day, mindset is everything. What happens around you might shake you, might test you, but it's what's happening inside you that determines whether you rise or fall. Your mindset is the difference between seeing a problem as an obstacle or an opportunity. It's the lens through which you see the world, and it shapes your future long before you take a single step. Now, don't misunderstand me. A positive mindset doesn't make everything easy, but it makes everything possible. With the right mindset, you don't just dream, you execute. You don't just hope, you act. You don't just hope, you act. You don't just survive, you thrive. You have to know your why is the driving force behind everything you do. It's not about waking up and just going through the motions. It's about purpose. That deep, burning reason that gets you out of bed when you're tired, that pushes you when no one's watching, and that keeps you going when things fall apart. Your why gives your life direction. It's like a compass that guides your every step. Without it, you're just wandering through life, reacting to whatever comes your way. But with it, you have clarity. You have focus. When you know your why, the obstacles, the challenges, they don't stop you, they fuel you. They become part of the journey, part of the story that you're writing every day. Think about it. When things get hard, when everything feels like it's falling apart, what keeps you going? It's not the paycheck, it's not the applause, it's that thing deep inside you that whispers, I've got to keep going because there's something bigger than me at stake. Your why is bigger than your fears. Bigger than your doubts, bigger than any obstacle that tries to block your path. But here's the thing, you can't borrow someone else's why, you've got to find your own. It's personal, it's unique, it's tied to who you are and what you believe in. It's tied to your values, to the legacy you want to leave behind. So don't let the noise of the world drown out that voice inside you. Take the time to figure it out. Ask yourself, what am I really here for? What impact do I want to have on this world? And once you find it, hold on to it, protect it, nurture it. Because when you know your why, it doesn't matter how many times you stumble, how many times you fail, you'll keep getting back up. You'll keep moving forward because that purpose will pull you through anything. Your why gives meaning to the grind, to the hustle. It gives power to your decisions, and it shapes the way you show up in the world. When you know your why, you don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just live, you live with passion, with intention, with fire. So find that why, own it, and let it guide every step you take. Failure is something most people run from, something they fear, but I'm telling you right now, you have to embrace it. You have to look failure dead in the eye and see it for what it really is, fuel. Every time you fall short, every time things don't go as planned, that's not the end of the story. That's the beginning. That's where the growth happens. The truth is, no one ever succeeded without failing first. No one. But here's the thing, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. It's the lesson, it's the test. It's the opportunity to become stronger, sharper, and wiser. When you fail, you learn. When you fail, you get a chance to reassess, to figure out what didn't work, and to come back even better. You fail forward. But what most people don't realize is that failure isn't a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of where you are in the process. That's all it is. It's not personal. It's not permanent, unless you let it be. You see, failure only wins if you stop trying, if you give up. But if you use it as fuel, as motivation, it becomes one of the most powerful forces you can tap into. When failure comes, and it will come, you've got a choice. You can let it knock you down, make you bitter, or you can let it build you up, make you better. The choice is yours. But if you embrace it, if you learn from it, you become unstoppable. Because every time you get knocked down and get back up, you become more resilient. You become more focused, more determined, more relentless. I think about it like this: failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're daring enough to try, brave enough to take risks, bold enough to step out of your comfort zone. And that's where greatness is born, outside the comfort zone. So don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of staying in the same place, of not growing, of not reaching for more because you're too scared of the fall. Let failure be the fire that drives you. When it comes, let it remind you that you're still in the game, still fighting, still pushing towards something bigger. Let it light a spark in you, a hunger to keep going, to keep learning, to keep improving. And when you look back, you'll realize that failure wasn't your enemy. It was your greatest ally, the thing that pushed you beyond what you thought was possible. So embrace it and let it fuel you. Your thoughts, they shape everything. Everything. What's going on in your mind is the foundation of your reality. If you can't control what happens in your head, you can't control what happens in your life. That's the truth. So when I say control your thoughts, I'm talking about taking charge of the most powerful tool you have, your mind. Every single day, your mind is feeding you thoughts, some positive, some negative, some empowering, and some destructive. And here's where the battle is fought, right there in your head. Because the way you think is how you're going to feel, and how you feel is how you're going to act. Your actions, in turn, shape your future. It all starts with a thought. You've got to understand that you can't always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you respond. And that response starts with a thought. You've got to train your mind to think differently when challenges come. You can't sit there thinking, why me? You've got to shift your mindset to, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Negativity will try to creep in. Doubt will whisper in your ear. Fear will tell you to stop. But that's when you've got to stand guard at the door of your mind. You've got to protect your thoughts like they're the most valuable thing you own. Because they are. If you let negativity in, it'll take root. And once it's there, it's hard to shake. But if you feed your mind with positivity, with belief, with discipline, you can create a fortress up there that nothing can break through. I'm not saying you won't have bad days or tough moments. We all do. But when you control your thoughts, you don't let those moments define you. You acknowledge them, you feel them, but you don't stay there. You redirect. You remind yourself of who you are, of what you're capable of. You push the doubt aside and replace it with certainty. You push the fear aside and replace it with courage. When you learn to control your thoughts, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop reacting to life and you start creating it. You start making choices based on your goals, your values, and your vision, instead of letting outside noise dictate how you move. It's not easy. It takes discipline. It takes practice. But every time you catch yourself slipping into negative thinking, every time you make the choice to flip the script, you're getting stronger. You're building a mindset that can't be broken no matter what life throws at you. Control your thoughts and you control your life. It's that simple. What you think is what you become. So think like a winner. Think like a fighter. Think like someone who's already won the battle, even when the odds are stacked against you. Because at the end of the day, your mind is your most powerful weapon, and if you can control it, there's nothing you can't do. The people around you matter a lot. Who you choose to spend your time with will either push you forward or pull you back. You've got to understand that energy is contagious. You absorb what's around you, whether you realize it or not. So if you're surrounded by people who complain, people who doubt, people who settle, it's only a matter of time before you start thinking, talking, and acting just like them. That's why it's critical to surround yourself with the right people. You need people in your life who believe in you, even when you don't fully believe in yourself. You need people who challenge you to be better, who hold you accountable, who push you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. When you're around people like that, you rise, you grow, you become more. But if you're constantly around negativity, it's like trying to run with weights on your back. You'll never get to where you're trying to go. Take a look at your circle. Are the people around you lifting you up or holding you down? Are they encouraging you to go after your dreams, or are they planting seeds of doubt in your mind? Because the truth is, not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level. Some people are only meant to be in your life for a season, and that's okay. But you've got to be wise enough to know when it's time to let go of relationships that no longer serve your growth. It doesn't mean you don't care about those people, but you have to protect your energy, your mindset, your vision. Your future is too important to be derailed by people who don't believe in it. You need people who are hungry for success, who are striving for greatness, just like you are. People who have their own goals, their own ambitions, but who also support yours. People who want to see you win just as much as they want to win themselves. And here's the thing, the right people won't let you stay comfortable. They won't let you settle for average. They'll call you out when you're slacking. They'll push you to be better than you were yesterday. That's the kind of circle you need, people who inspire you, who make you level up just by being in their presence. But you can't just expect those people to show up in your life by accident. You have to be intentional about who you let in your inner circle. It's about alignment. If someone's energy doesn't match yours, if their values don't align with where you're trying to go, you need to ask yourself why they're still in your life. Because every person you allow in your space either adds to your journey or distracts from it. Surround yourself with winners, with dreamers, with doers. Surround yourself with people who make you want to be the best version of yourself. And if you can't find those people right now, focus on becoming that person yourself. The right people will come into your life when you're on the right path. But it starts with you deciding that you deserve to be around greatness. You deserve to be around people who uplift you, who challenge you, and who see the best in you. So take stock of your circle. Make the tough decisions if you have to. And remember, your environment shapes your destiny. Choose wisely. Consistency, that's what separates the people who succeed from the ones who just talk about success. Too many people get caught up chasing perfection. They want everything to be flawless before they even start, and that's why they never move. They're stuck in the planning phase, waiting for the perfect time, the perfect moment, the perfect conditions. But here's the truth: perfection doesn't exist. It's an illusion. If you're waiting to be perfect, you'll be waiting forever. Consistency is where the magic happens. It's showing up every day, doing the work, putting in the time, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're not seeing the results yet. Because success isn't about the grand moments, it's about the small steps you take day after day. It's about laying one brick at a time until you've built something solid, something that lasts. Being consistent means you don't rely on motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline, that's what keeps you going. There will be days when you don't feel like getting up, when you don't feel like grinding, when doubt creeps in and you wonder if it's all worth it. But those are the days that matter the most. Those are the days where consistency becomes your best friend. When you're consistent, you create habits, and habits shape your destiny. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be better than you were yesterday. You've got to understand that progress, not perfection, is what leads to success. The problem with perfection is that it paralyzes you. You get so caught up trying to avoid mistakes, trying to do everything just right, that you end up doing nothing at all. But when you focus on being consistent, you allow yourself to grow. You give yourself room to learn from your mistakes, to adjust, to improve. Think about the people who inspire you. They didn't get to where they are by being perfect. They got there by being relentless, by showing up over and over again, by putting in the work when no one was watching. They didn't wait for the perfect time. They made the time they had count. They didn't aim for perfection. They aimed for progress. Consistency also builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, every time you do what you said you were going to do, you strengthen your belief in your own ability. You start to trust that no matter what comes your way, you'll handle it. That's powerful. And here's the thing, consistency compounds. The small actions you take daily may not seem like much in the moment, but over time, they add up, they build momentum. And before you know it, you're miles ahead of where you started. That's the beauty of consistency. It's not flashy. It's not glamorous, but it's what gets you to the finish line. So stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop obsessing over every little detail. Just start. Be consistent. Show up. Do the work. You'll make mistakes along the way. Everyone does. But those mistakes will teach you. They'll make you stronger. And as long as you keep showing up, keep pushing forward, you'll get to where you're trying to go. Consistency will take you places that perfection never will. Stay humble. Stay hungry. These are two principles that will carry you further than talent, luck, or even hard work alone. Being humble doesn't mean downplaying your strengths or pretending you're less than you are. It means recognizing that no matter how much you achieve, there's always room to grow, always more to learn. It's about keeping your feet on the ground. No matter how high you rise, it's about remembering where you came from and understanding that success is never guaranteed. It's earned every day. You see, the moment you start thinking you've made it, that's when you start slipping. That's when complacency sets in. When you believe you've done enough, that you're the smartest in the room, the hardest worker in the room, that's when you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start losing ground. Success is never a final destination, it's a journey. And staying humble keeps you in the mindset of a student, always willing to learn, always open to new perspectives, new challenges. Humility also keeps you connected to others. No matter how high you climb, you need people. You need relationships, mentors, and support. When you stay humble, you're able to appreciate the value that others bring, and you're willing to listen. You don't let pride block you from learning from someone else's experience. You recognize that no one gets to the top alone. Staying humble allows you to build bridges, not burn them. But humility alone isn't enough. You've also got to stay hungry. You can't let the comfort of success make you lose that fire. That hunger, that relentless drive, that's what keeps you pushing, striving for more, refusing to settle. It's that voice inside that says, I'm not done yet, no matter how much you accomplish. There's always another level, always another challenge to face, another goal to reach. Staying hungry means you're never satisfied with where you are, even when you've accomplished things most people dream about. It's about keeping that same grit, that same hustle, as if you're still at the bottom, even when you're sitting at the top. It's about not letting the trophies, the accolades, or the recognition slow you down. The hunger drives you to keep evolving, to push your limits, to chase after the next big thing. But here's the balance you've got to stay hungry without becoming greedy. It's not about chasing success just for the sake of more. It's about chasing purpose, chasing growth, chasing impact. The hunger isn't for material things. It's for mastering your craft, for becoming the best version of yourself. It's about leaving a legacy, about making a difference in the lives of others. That kind of hunger keeps you focused, keeps you grounded in what truly matters. And when you combine humility with hunger, you become unstoppable. You have the wisdom to recognize that you don't know everything, but the drive to learn as much as you can. You have the discipline to put in the work, but the perspective to understand that every success is just another step on a much larger journey. You become the kind of person who doesn't just achieve great things, but who also brings others along for the ride. Stay humble, stay hungry, because no matter how far you've come, there's always further to go. No matter how much you've learned, there's always more to discover. And no matter how much you've achieved, there's always more to give. That's the mindset that turns good into great. That's the mindset that turns success into legacy. You've got dreams, plans, ideas, but none of that matters if you don't take action right now. Too many people wait. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, the perfect amount of confidence. But let me tell you something, there's no such thing as the perfect time. If you're waiting for everything to line up just right, you'll be waiting your whole life. The moment you have is the one you're in right now. And that's where the magic happens. Action is what separates the dreamers from the doers. You can have the biggest vision, the most detailed plan, but without action, it's just a thought. A thought that'll fade over time if you don't put something behind it. You can't just sit around hoping things will fall into place. You have to go out and make them happen. You have to create your own opportunities, even when the path isn't clear. The truth is, you're never going to feel 100% ready. There's always going to be a little fear, a little doubt. A voice in the back of your head telling you to wait, to hold off, to be cautious. But if you listen to that voice, you'll never take that first step. And the first step, that's where everything begins. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be now. You'll figure out the rest along the way. Action breeds clarity. Once you start moving, the path reveals itself. But you have to start. You might stumble. You might fall. You might have to adjust your course, but all of that is part of the process. The worst thing you can do is stay still, paralyzed by indecision or fear. Inaction is the enemy of progress. If you want to go somewhere, you've got to move, and you've got to move now. Don't wait for the right resources, the right connections, the right skills. Use what you have right here, right now. You'll get better as you go. You'll meet the right people along the way. But you've got to be in motion to attract what you need. Life doesn't reward those who sit on the sidelines. It rewards those who step into the game, even when they're not sure how it's going to play out. And here's the thing, action creates momentum. Once you get moving, it becomes easier to keep moving. Small wins start to stack up. You start seeing progress, and that progress gives you the confidence to keep going. But none of that happens without taking that first step. It's the hardest part, but it's also the most important. Too many people get stuck in the planning phase. They want everything mapped out perfectly before they make a move. But the reality is, life doesn't work like that. You can plan all you want, but until you take action, nothing changes. Don't let the fear of making mistakes hold you back. Mistakes are part of the journey. They teach you, they shape you, they make you better. But if you never take that step, you'll never learn, never grow, never get to where you want to go. So don't wait. Don't put off what you can do today, because tomorrow isn't promised. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to know the whole plan. Just take the first step right now and trust that the next step will reveal itself. The power is in the action. The power is in the now. Remember, you are not defined by your circumstances, but by how you respond to them. You are more powerful than you realize, and your mindset will either be your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. So choose wisely. Keep your head up, your heart strong, and never stop believing in the power of your mind. Because, my friends, mindset is everything.